Hello, everyone. This is Fafa Berry back with another episode of Fafa Berry reading. Today, we're going to be doing the complete David Shannon Duck collection. Got Duck on a bike and Duck on a tractor. So what we're going to do is Duck on a Bike, written and illustrated by David Shannon. Excuse me. One day, down on the farm, Duck got a wild idea. I bet I can ride a bike, he thought. He waddled over to where the boy parked his bike, climbed on, and began to ride. At first, he rode very slowly, and he wobbled a lot, but it was fun. Excuse me. Duck rode past Cow and waved to her. Hello, Cow, said Duck. Moo, said Cow. But what she thought was, a duck on a bike? That's the silliest thing I've ever seen. Then Duck rode past Sheep. Hello, Sheep, said Duck. Bah, said Sheep. But what she thought was, he's gonna hurt himself if he's not careful. Duck was riding better now. He rode past Dog. Hello, Dog, said Duck. Woof, said Dog. But what he thought was that is a mighty neat trick. Then Duck rode past Cat. Hello, Cat, said Duck. Meow, said Cat. But what she thought was, I wouldn't waste my time riding a bike. I still like riding bikes. Duck pedaled a little faster. He rode past Horse. Hello, Horse, said Duck. Nay, said Horse. But what he thought was you're still not as fast as me, Duck. Duck rang his bell as he rode toward Chicken. Hello, Chicken, said Duck. Cluck, cluck, said Chicken. But what she thought was watch where you're going, Duck. Excuse me. Then Duck rode past Goat. Hello, Goat, said Duck. Ma, said Goat. But what he thought was, I'd like to eat that bike. All these silly eat bikes. Duck stood on the seat as he rode past Pig and Pig. Hello, pigs, said Duck. Oink, said Pig and Pig. But what they thought was, Duck is such a show-off. Then Duck rode no hands past Mouse. Oh, hello, Mouse, said Duck. Squeak, said Mouse. But what he thought was, I wish I could ride a bike just like Duck. Excuse me. Suddenly, a whole bunch of kids came down the road on bikes. They were in such a hurry that they didn't see Duck. They parked their bikes by the house and went inside. Now all the animals had bikes. They rode around and around the barnyard. This is fun, they all said. Good idea, Duck. Then they put the bikes back by the house, and no one knew that on that afternoon there had been a cow, a sheep, a dog, a cat, a horse, a chicken, a goat, 2 pigs, a mouse, and a duck on a bike. That's the end of Duck on a Bike. Right. The next one is Duck on a Tractor, written and illustrated by David Shannon. Excuse me. Down on the farm, Duck sometimes got wild ideas. One day, he decided he could ride a bike. So he did. Then he spotted a tractor. I bet I could drive a tractor, he said. The other animals weren't so sure, but they all said, well, if he could ride a bike, maybe he could drive a tractor too. Duck climbed onto the tractor and looked around. He pushed some pedals and wiggled a metal stick, but nothing happened. Then, a shiny little piece of metal by the steering wheel caught his eye. He pulled it out. He pushed it in. Then he turned it. All of a sudden, the tractor shook and coughed and rumbled. It began to move. At first, it moved very slowly, and it jerked a lot, but it was fun. Duck drove around. Duck drove around the barnyard until he got the hang of it. Then he stopped in front of the other animals. "Climb on, everybody," shouted Duck. Dog was first. He jumped right up next to Duck. "Woof," said Dog. But what he thought was, "We're going for a ride." To everyone's surprise, Cow clambered on next. "Moo," said Cow. But what she thought was, let's try again. "Moo," said Cow. But what she thought was, this is the silliest thing I've ever done. Pig and Pig took a seat in the back. "Oink," said Pig and Pig. But what they thought was, this sure beats walking. Then came Chicken, Mouse, and Goat. "Squawk," said Chicken, but what she thought was last one on and a raw egg. Don't worry, we're all nice here. "Squeak," said Mouse, but what she thought was, I can see everything from up here. "Ma," said Goat, but what he thought was, I'm hungry. Does the garbage dump have a drive-through window? So silly. Next up were Horse and Cat. Cat jumped up gracefully onto the tractor. Horse, not so much. Meow, said Cat. What she thought was, I was going to take a nap, but this should be very interesting. Nay, said Horse. But what he thought was, I think I'd rather walk. Like walk. That's like going for a ride in a car. It's okay. The only one left on the ground was Sheep. Bah! Said Sheep. But what she thought was, this is too dangerous. Get on, Sheep! Everyone shouted, but Sheep wouldn't budge. So Duck started driving away without her. Wait! Cried Sheep. Don't leave me here all alone! She ran after the tractor and took a flying leap onto it. Quack! Yelled Duck, but what he thought was, wahoo! Duck steered the tractor down the lane and out onto the main road, and before long they were driving right through the middle of town. It was lunchtime, so most people were in the diner. They all looked up when Duck and the other animals passed by the big window. A little boy named Edison was having lunch with his grandma. Did you ever? Grandma gasped. But what she thought was, a duck on a tractor? That's impossible. That's totally awesome, Edison shouted. But what he thought was, no one's going to believe this. Marcine, the waitress, looked up for her pad and noticed this cat. Heavens to Betsy, she exclaimed. But what she thought was, I like cats. Deputy Bob blabbered, if that don't beat all. But what he thought was, how am I going to explain this to the sheriff? A man named Otis chimed in. I must be seeing things. But what he thought was, oh no, not again. Holy cow! Hollered Minnie the cook. But what he thought was, holy cow! Minnie usually said exactly what he thought. The mayor almost choked on his pie. Good gravy, he sputtered. What he thought was, those pigs are even fatter than I am. Corky just whistled. Woo woo! But what he thought was, that duck is smarter than he looks. Gwen came out of the restroom. Would you look at that? She exclaimed. But what she thought was, I can't see a thing with my glasses. I don't wear glasses. So silly. Come over here. Farmer Odell observed, that's a dang nice tractor. But what he thought was, hey, that's my tractor. He decided he better go after it and ran out the door. Everyone else ran out too and chased after him. By this time, Duck had turned onto the next street. The tractor shuddered to a stop. Duck tried turning the shiny little piece of metal again. Nothing happened. I don't know much about spelling, said Dog, but I think that E means it's the end of our ride. Well, I know much about spelling. That the know that the E means that they ran out of gas. I think the little piece of metal a duck was turning was only a key. Sheep cleared her throat. You know, she said, I think we might get in trouble for this. Don't worry. We're all nice here. Just that she was worried. She was worried that Farmer Odell and everyone else from the diner is coming. Let's get out of here, yelled Duck, just as Farmer Odell and everyone from the diner came around the corner. Everyone burst out laughing. Nah, they all said. It couldn't have been. It was an optical illusion, exclaimed Otis. Farmer Odell said he must have left his tractor running by accident. I guess that explains it, Deputy Bob agreed. Then they all went back to the diner to finish their lunch. And no one ever admitted that on that day they had seen a cow, a goat, a dog, a sheep, chicken. Should I get in here? And no one ever admitted that on that day they had seen a cow, a goat, a cat, a dog, a sheep, a chicken, a horse, 2 pigs, a mouse, and a duck on a tractor. That's the end. And a duck on a tractor. Thanks for watching.